Hey, everybody. Hello, and welcome to another Founders Town Hall for Nifty Dreams DAO. I'm Nik Kalyani, your host for today, and I'm coming to you via a YouTube stream. And also, I have a Twitter space here. So I see a bunch of people on the Twitter space. Welcome to everybody. The Twitter space is going to be listen only. So you'll be listening. I will look for your tweet comments and read them off on the air. But welcome to everybody. It's so great. It's so great to see you all. All right, I have a lot of exciting information for you today. But before I get going, I just want to say that I am slightly, like, probably at, I don't know, 90% of my energy level because I haven't slept at all last night. So there's that. But I have a fresh cup of chai. So take a good sip and go from there. Okay. So what are all the things I want to talk about today? Well, I want to tell you about some of the priorities of the DAO for the next 60 days. And in those priorities, one of the most significant things is our token drop. So I'll be talking about that and a few other topics. So this is it. We are finally at the point where we can share dates and all that. But before I do that, just a little bit of background and a few updates on sort of some logistical things. So last time I reported that we were set up in Dubai. So that's great. Now we got the little, I forget the exact term that they call it. They give you a little card basically. And that card is necessary to avail of all government services in Dubai. So we got that card. And today I sort of got a couple of quotes for an office. So got to decide on that soon because uh, in order to get my visa, which is necessary for me to go and get a bank account, they need to have an address, and that address is what will be there for the term of a license. I don't know the exact rules around it, but that's what the agent told me is like, don't keep changing your address or whatever, keep it fixed. So choose carefully. So there's all these things that have to happen in the right order, and so I'm just going along with it. But anyway, there's going to be an office. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll have picked something that fits a budget that we don't have right now, but I have to go along with it, and then that gets the next step into the pipeline, which is get visa. And then that gets the next step into the pipeline, which is start applying for a bank account, which is necessary for us to raise funds and so on and so forth. Anyway, so that is moving forward beautifully. No complaints there. And next, what was it? All right, yeah. So let's talk about the topics we want to talk about today and go on in terms of priorities. So the topics I want to talk about today is one is about sort of the transition from what was the bootstrap team to the community. That's happening really well, and I want to go into a little more detail about that. I want to talk about the benefactor drop. I want to talk about what advancements we've made with the Diverge Sneakers project. Of course, I want to talk about the token launch. I want to talk about some of the things we are doing for artist engagement, which includes a brand new challenge we'll talk about today. And also, last but not the least, about the Da Vinci project grants. Everyone signed off on their agreements, so we can move forward with that also. So all of those things to talk about. I'll be taking a lot of your questions also, both from the YouTube comments and from the Twitter comments also. So don't be shy about asking questions. This is your time to ask any question. And also, if you have any concerns or if you have any insults or any kudos, also is welcome. All of that is all good. Okay, so let's start with sort of the team reorg. As I have said a few times, when I got this thing going, in order to get the DAO going, needed to have a team together because a lot of marketing, a lot of community building, a lot of engagement, a lot of business things have to happen in parallel, and you can't expect to have volunteers do that. So I basically had a very small team that I was paying for. And so now what we are doing is we are transitioning out of that a paid team. So we're still going to have a few paid folks, and I'm still going to continue to pay them. But we're going to transition to a more community oriented model. And so we've got a great set of ambassadors. We've got more people in the community team. We've got people in the product team, etc. All working for the DAO. That means I can reduce my spend, which ideally I could apply the funds other places. But the resources we have that I continue to pay for are very important, and we need them, and they are great people, and I want to make sure that they continue to help with the DAO. So, but that transition is ongoing. So if you see different faces or different roles or whatever, that's what's happening. Is people are transitioning out of paid roles, and we are seeing more community members step in and take over some of those roles, and it's happening in a really organic fashion, and I'm excited about that. So that's one thing. All right, so then the next topic I want to talk about, and actually Martin asked a good question, which is right on cue, and I did not pay Martin for that. What about the Dream Forever project? Yeah, so one of the things that we have been going back and forth on is where to focus our energy. Should we focus our energy on getting more dreamers on board? So we have, I think, somewhere close to like a couple thousand on board already. Should we work on getting more of them? And that was the intent of the Dream Forever project, right? Is to market and get that. Or should we start talking to galleries, museums, NGOs, impact investors, etc., and getting the benefactor drop done so we can actually have capital at scale? Now, we went back and forth on this, and we concluded that the benefactor thing takes priority over the dreamers. And the simple reason is economics, right? It's got nothing to do with what is better or whatever. The DAO, in order to execute on its vision, needs capital, right? And where's that capital going to come from? The capital is not going to come from artists. The idea is actually to provide capital to artists, right? So we've decided to focus a lot of our energy right now on the benefactor drop. So we're going to do the Dream Forever project, but we're going to do it once we have a little more capital in, so we can execute that better. So here's the thing, guys. When you're running something like this DAO, it's you have to react to what the developments are, right? Like things change, you learn new information, etc. So we have now, I believe it's almost 2.5 months or so, been working on getting more dreamers on board, and that is working, but it's working at a trickle. It's not working at a torrent, right? But we can't wait indefinitely to get capital in. So what we're going to do is focus on the dreamers who are on board, and focus all our energy on keeping them engaged and doing exciting things right now. But now we're going to shift to raising capital, because we need to get several $1 million in order to execute on this. So that's what we are going to do. And very shortly, I'm going to show you a detailed timeline for that. So now we are moving into sort of the benefactor phase, where we have already started talking to galleries. We've already started identifying museums and NGOs, etc. And there's a lot of activity happening behind the scenes in order to get that drop going. So I'm going to show you that in just a second. Like I said, the planner. And so our top, so this is a good question here. Alien Voices, what is Dream's top priority right now? So our top priority is to get capital. It's that simple, because nothing else that we plan can be executed the way we want to execute without capital. So it's just like a startup, right? When you are creating a startup, you can do some things, and we are doing a lot of things actually, and I'm going to talk about those also. But to do it at the scale we want to, we got to have capital. And so our top priority now is to engage with benefactors and get those NFTs going. So a sip of chai, please. Okay, so what are we doing around that? Well, I guess this is as good as a time as any for me to share my screen here and show you. Let's go right there. Okay, what you are seeing right now is a live spreadsheet. In fact, I believe people might be editing it as we go. So what I decided to do was to create a live sort of complete bird's eye view of everything happening in the DAO. So if you are on Twitter, you can't see the screen, but you can see this by going to niftyd.io/planner. I hope someone can tweet that out. Niftyd.io/planner, and you can also see this same spreadsheet. Uh, let's see if people are hopping on there. Yeah, I see a few people hopping on there. So, all right. So the way this spreadsheet is organized is we've got all the way till December 31st in the rows. And then in the columns, we have each major area. And this is, like I said, a living document. So it's going to change. Let me hide this toolbar so we can see a bit more of it. Okay. So what I want to do is kind of talk to you about each area and what we are doing there. So let's talk about the benefactors. So in order to get the benefactors drop going, one of the key things we have to do is to launch a website, because that's where they'll want to go. Our website right now is just a placeholder. I just put the business plan there as a bunch of images. It's not the kind of website that you really want. So if you look at column F there, it tells you that we are actually having content worked on, which will be ready today. We'll have a beta or Tuesday, and by Wednesday, we will launch the niftydreams.com website. And Crypto Dragonis is saying she's editing the spreadsheet in real time. So this is great. Like, we are doing this all organically. It's all very fun. All right, so there's going to be a website. Now, in addition to that, if you look at column K, which I'll center here, we are doing a series of email blasts. And what we are doing those email blasts for is for a weekly webinar. So we're going to have a weekly webinar targeted at benefactors. So this would be your galleries, your museums, art investors, art collectors, impact investors, etc. So there's a plan. Every Tuesday, there's going to be a webinar. And our goal, this is like a traditional almost sales process, right? We are getting investors excited, benefactors are excited. They come, they learn about the DAO, and hopefully we can convert many of them. Now, we know from speaking to a lot of them that most of them are not into crypto, right? And we need to get capital from them, but we need to do it via fiat currency and then give them their NFT. But how do you do that? Well, we do that with a service called the custodial wallet service. So in other words, we will have these benefactors essentially purchase the NFT, but their wallet, because they don't have a wallet, they don't have any crypto, would be in a custodial wallet, which is a service that keeps the wallet for them. And we would actually be able to receive the funds in fiat currency. This is why my intense focus on getting this Dubai incorporation done, because without a bank account, it's really hard for us to collect funds from benefactors, because the target audience, the galleries, the museums, etc., they are not in crypto yet. They would wire funds over, or they would use a credit card depending on the amount, right? So we have no ability to receive those funds if we don't have a bank account. So this is why you can see how all these things sort of line up and need to be done in the right order in order for this DAO to succeed. Yeah, so our plan is to do these email blasts and do these webinars. And you've probably seen Addie be very involved in sort of the community. And Addie is actually collaborating with me and taking a sort of front leading role in working on the benefactors. So you're going to see less and less of her in sort of the social media role and more in the benefactor role. But meanwhile, Crypto Dragonis has taken on the community lead, and she's also in the marketing lead. So under her able guidance, she's going to work with more of the members of the community and have them step in and take over some of the social media and things like that. Maheen will continue to be engaged with the community and recruit more dreamers to the platform. But Addy is going to be transitioning and focusing more on the benefactors. So that's kind of like one of the transitions that's occurring. And all right, so that's about benefactors. Now let's talk about artists. So one of the things that goes hand in hand with sort of the community engagement, etc., is to, as I mentioned, we've got a lot of dreamers on board right now, and we want to make sure we are continuing to do things for you in order to help you learn, help you grow, but also we want to make sure that we do things to move closer to that grand vision of having a sustainable income. Now we all know that that's going to take some time. It requires a lot of work. If it was easy, everyone would have already done it, but we are working on it, right? So we are planning right now a few exhibitions and events, but I don't have any details yet. So those will probably come a little later. But what I do have details on is a new puzzle. And this puzzle is also a way for you to grow your skills and also to potentially win some prizes. So let's talk about that. So on column J, there is information about the puzzle. So that goes live tomorrow. And it is actually a multi-week puzzle because the feedback I got was like, hey, these puzzles are too quick. I'm busy. I have work, etc. So this is I am crafting a puzzle that addresses all the problems that people have talked about. It's too fast. That's one thing. It's too English centric. That's another thing. So this one is going to be more visual. So it doesn't matter if you speak English or not. You will be able to participate in this puzzle. Three is it's too hard. So to address that, this puzzle is being formulated so you can choose your own questions. And there are questions that are easy, medium difficulty, moderate, and difficult. And you can choose your own combination of questions to answer to make the puzzle. But like, for example, if you choose easy, you got to do more questions. If you choose difficult, you can do fewer, etc. So this puzzle has tested me quite a bit because crafting these puzzles and making them so people don't just can just Google the answers or whatever and solve them is not an easy feat. And usually when I've crafted puzzles before, I've done it like the actual puzzle in about an hour or so. And this one, this one I've been working on for a few days now. So it's fairly involved. So the way it will happen is tomorrow. I don't have an exact time, guys. When it's done, it's done. Tomorrow, though, the puzzle will be launched. And like I said, it's a multi-week puzzle. So it's the exact time at which it's launched is immaterial. Like you're going to be able to work on it. And then every 2 days, I guess you skip 2 days, and every third day is going to be a new question set. And I say question set because it's not going to be only one question. It's going to be a question that has degrees to it. You can answer part of it. You could, that's easy. You can go to the moderate part, or you can do the difficult part. So there's the first question set number 2 will come on Thursday. The first question will come with the launch, of course. And then every skip 2 days, and there's going to be a new question. So basically, you're going to have about 2.5 days to answer the questions. And so this goes on until all the way until December the 1st. So that's when the last question is going to be there. So this is going to be a full month of crypto puzzle, art puzzle, geography, history, sociology, sports, whatever. Every domain that I can imagine, I'm going to put into this blender, and out come some questions and puzzles for you to learn and grow about. I really try and make these questions so it teaches you a little bit about crypto in general, because some of those concepts are really, really hard. But if I can make it slightly more digestible, that would be great. So here's a question. Is this puzzle only for dreamers? Anyone can take a stab at solving the questions, but yes, we're going to limit this to to dreamers. Honestly, there's no reason not to be a dreamer. So if you're an artist and you're not a dreamer, my question would be why? What is stopping you? Because there's enough people at this point also willing to give out dreamer passes, etc. So there should be no impediment to that. So yes, this is for dreamers only, and it is our first sort of major puzzle for dreamers only. We want to have a benefit for the DAO members, and this is one of those benefits. So we, along with the launch, will be the announcement around the prizes, about how that will work, etc. So question is coding or something else required to do this puzzle? This puzzle is targeted towards artists. So assume that if you're an artist, you have all the knowledge and skills needed in order to participate in this puzzle. You don't need anything else other than your creativity and really problem solving. You need to do a little bit of problem solving. That's the whole point of a challenge. So that is what we are doing for artists. And like I said, there's a couple of other events that are in play. And toward the end of this session, I want to ask you a question, which might be kind of like a surprise and interesting thing also. So stick around, and someone remind me at the end about this thought, this interesting idea that got popped into my head yesterday. And I want to ask you for your input. It is all about art. Okay, so that's it for artists. Now, also in the community channel here, you can see that there are weekly sort of ambassador meetings, etc. Which actually brings me to another interesting point. We are now transitioned where all the meetings that we do for the planning of product, etc., are all happening in Discord, and they're all public. They're not closed to anybody. Anyone who is in Discord there can join the meeting and listen in. For the most part, these are not being recorded. So either, because they are in Discord, we don't have a way to record them. But they are like business meetings. So recording them is probably not ideal. What we can do is start summarizing a text version of them. But I encourage you to attend these meetings, because you're going to learn a lot. Like, for example, the Diverge Sneakers meeting. If you want to see firsthand how a product comes to life from zero to actually built and launched, you should be attending those meetings. You are going to learn a lot. I guarantee that. Like, already the 2 meetings we've had in public have been highly productive. And I think that you should, if you're interested in understanding how sort of business partnerships work, how pricing is created, how marketing works, how product development works, all of that, you can have a front row seat. And yeah, we'll also, this is a good point. Newsletters that contain summarized versions will also be shared publicly. So I have a question here from someone: is there a prize involved in the puzzles game? And as I just said, yes, there's a prize involved, and I will announce that tomorrow. So okay. So continuing with that line, we will be publishing a community calendar. I think people are working on that. But absent a community calendar, this spreadsheet is your go-to thing. Like, we'll do that, but what we'll do is we'll start putting our meetings and all that also in here. I know we had a community calendar planned also, but this spreadsheet makes it just so easy to go and look at everything that's happening at any given time. And so you can see here, for example, that the Diverge team is going to meet on Wednesday to work on the business requirements documents and product and marketing requirements. So then it's just a matter of finding out the time, and the time is usually, we try and tweet it out at least 24 hours in advance. So you can definitely follow niftydreams.com account or follow me, and I usually retweet those also. Okay, so benefactors covered, artists covered. We'll get to the Da Vinci Fund a little later. Now let's talk about Diverge Sneakers. That's actually a good segue. So guys, as I mentioned, in terms of priorities, so there's a question about how to access this. So let me, pop up a quick banner here. Give me a second. Give me one moment. It's niftyd.io slash planner is the URL for it. Let me put it up there. There it is. And you can get to it. Let's see if people are on it. Oh, I see a few people on it, so that's good. Uh, cool. Uh, so uh, we started working on Diverge Sneakers a couple of weeks ago, and it's actually progressing really really well. The team is moving forward. Last week I showed you the whole workflow, and uh, end to end. And now what we are doing is, that's a really high level sort of 20,000 foot view, and we are coming down to the level at which we actually need to start building. And so one of the things that you might recollect, I wish I had that. I should have thought ahead and pulled up that diagram. But one of the first steps is to get templates from Divert Sneaker and then make them available to you along with the requirements for creating the art. So what we are going to do is meet with the team, the Diverge team, and work on getting those template. I'm going to call them packages ready, because what you're going to get is a template along with very detailed requirements on what you need to do. Now, I know from previous puzzles, quests, things like I've done, that I have given very detailed requirements and people didn't follow them, and they submitted stuff that basically doesn't matter. Like, here's the thing, guys. With this template, etc., the requirements are going to be absolute. You can't vary from them because we are building a product. You can't be creative and say, well, they asked for 10 by 10, but I'm going to make a 10 by 12 or something like that. You can't do that kind of stuff. And we're going to actually have software that when you go and apply, upload your template, I'm getting ahead of myself. But when we actually build that, it will reject your package if it doesn't conform exactly. So reading instructions and all that, when building, like we're building product, right? Like if someone says, I need to have, the logo to be 3 inches by 2 inches or whatever, and you create a logo that's 6 inches by 9 inches or whatever, and it can't be scaled, that doesn't work, right? So what you're going to find out very quickly is, in building product or building art for product, you have to follow the rules. So we can't leave it to chance, and so we're going to have software that will enumerate your art and your package, etc., and make sure that it is conforming. Otherwise, it'll reject it. So anyway, but first, before we even get there, we have to get the templates from Diverge, and we have to figure out how to make them work. So just to reiterate, the workflow here is going to allow us to have any number of artists submit their art, and then there's going to be a panel of judges. So last week we decided that the judges are going to pick a certain number. I'm going to throw out a number that, let's say 20 of the artworks, and 5 of them will be community choice, like the Dreamers vote or something like that. So that's how the artists select, the art selection is going to be. And we are only going to have maximum of 1 artwork possible from an artist. So there's no way you can have multiple ones, because we want 25 artists. The other thing we also decided last week at the meeting is that we are not going to be like, oh, here are 25 artworks and they somehow show up on Diverge website. What we're going to do is celebrate each artist, maybe 2 of them a week or something like that. We have to figure out the details again. And guys, this is the important part. Like, some of these things I'm telling you are in planning, right? So you can't take my statement as an absolute thing and say, like, this is exactly what it is. I am sort of giving you this information in a conversation with you. We are planning things out right now. So you have to, like, when something's definite, I'll tell you it's definite. Right now, I'm kind of telling you what our intent is with Diverge Sneakers and that project. So our intent is that we take 1 or 2 artists a week and we highlight them. So we do a video of them, we promote them, we promote their work, we do a sort of a news article about them, we promote them on the Diverge website, all of that kind of stuff. So that's how we're going to introduce the art onto the Diverge platform. We're going to do 1 or 2 artworks a week. And so it's going to be like, hey, this week we are focusing on artist XYZ, who has created this amazing design, and kind of market it that way. Then the newsletter will go out to their customers and so on and so forth. So it is being one of those 25 artworks, I promise you, is going to put you on the world stage. It is going to be a really really cool thing for an artist to have that. And you cannot get there unless you're a dreamer. So the pool of artists that are going to uh, sort of potentially be in that first 25, and that's not the end of it, right? Like, this is a pilot. We're going to do 25 artists, then maybe we'll increase it to 50 or 100, and so on. So we'll have multiple rounds of this. And also, our goal is to use the Diverge sneaker project to market a lot and promote a lot. So we'll have news stories, etc., in major publications, and that is going to get other retailers in. And one of the things that, if you attended the meeting, you heard me say again and again and again, is nothing about this process that we are doing is a one-off. We're not going to like just say, oh, let's do this manually. We are actually building a workflow that can be automated for scale, because I have no interest in doing this for 25 artworks. I have an interest in doing this for more than 1 million artworks, because that's how we're going to get to our goal, right? So how we can't get there unless we build a platform, the smart contracts, the consignment workflow, the judging workflow, all of that. It has to be highly scalable. So we are designing a very scalable, performant platform right from the get go, and that's hard. It's not easy, and people spend millions of dollars on stuff like this. And right now, we are doing that for $0. We are spending $0 on it. So that's kind of fun also. But it is going to be a kick-ass platform. It is going to be highly scalable, and I hope every dreamer that's here and every future dreamer really puts in their best work to make this to make that list of 25. And it's going to be really fun. And we will, in the requirements, specify exactly what kind of art you can do. But in general, my tendency is to keep it as open as possible, so to have very few restrictions. Obviously, these are sneakers we are talking about, so we can't have like motion, right? Or we can't have audio. So that's a challenge. But beyond that, anything that can be printed, we want to do it. So that is what is happening. And by the way, Alex, if you're here, just a shout out to you. Alex Trello is doing a fantastic job as the project guild lead. He's right on top of things, and created a kick-ass draft business requirements document. So really, really cool. And also shout out to Zhao, the co-founder of Diverge, who's just so great to work with. He's so amenable and so flexible in working with us. I don't think we could have identified a better partner, do this pilot project with. They're so great to work with, and I'm super excited about owning 25 new pairs of sneakers whenever these are all launched with art on them. So that's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. This is becoming very real, very very fast, and it's so cool. Okay, so that's Diverge Sneakers. So the next meeting, if you want to attend, is on Wednesday. I believe it's at 9 a.m. Pacific, but I might be wrong about that. We'll, like I said, we'll push out the tweet about that, and we'll try and update this calendar here also with the times, etc. So you have one place to go and look at it. Okay, so let's see. We talked about artist engagement. We talked about benefactors. We talked about Diverge. Oh, so there's a lot happening on the Grand Chaco front also. We've essentially moved that planning for Bolivia to a little later. But for right now, because there are some important events with impact investors happening in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, etc., we are focusing on that. So Alex and Paula and others are attending those events and talking to investors, etc., and helping us with the benefactor raise there also. So that's very important. So and it is actually targeted towards the Bolivia thing, because again, It all comes down to capital, guys. Like we can do so many things without capital, which we are doing. Like we are doing the Diverge project without spending any money, when it would be great if we had capital, we could hire a bunch of developers, etc., and move it faster. But we are not stopping. We're going to keep on moving. And so this is why the benefactor thing is a high priority. Like it is extremely important for us to get capital in, because you know a, a lot we can do without it, but a lot does require capital. All right, so now let's get to the exciting part and talk about the token. All right, so the DAO will issue a token. That token will be an ERC20 fungible token called NFTD, NFTYD. Um, there is no such token in existence today that the DAO has issued. So now the thing is with tokens is anyone can create a token with the same name or whatever. But I think there was one dead token out there that someone had named NFTD, but our token has not yet been issued. And like I said, we were waiting on the incorporation of the company, of the DAO, in Dubai before we issued that. So today I'm going to tell you about the exact and precise schedule for launching this token. Now, the first thing that's going to happen is like the team is working on the token right now. So the first thing that's happened, the first main date that you need to be aware of, let me zoom in a bit here, is November 20th. So on November 20th, we are going to take a snapshot of all the people who have a Dreamer Pass. So we're going to look at all the Dreamer Passes and take note of the address, the account on which that Dreamer Pass is located. So we'll tell you the exact time. When that snapshot is taken, that's it. That is the account that is going to get the airdrop, right? So if you move your Dreamer Pass afterward, that's fine. It doesn't matter. The account that was present at the exact time when the snapshot is taken is the one that's going to get the airdrop tokens, all right? Now, the Dreamer Pass, the time at which it was purchased, there were various promotions going on where you got bonus tokens, etc. So that's the other day that's factored in, is when exactly was it acquired, right? So that's the date and time that is used to compute what additional tokens you get beyond the 870 that are committed there. So when we take that snapshot, we're going to record both those things, exactly which account it is in, and that account is going to get a sort of the bonus, etc. Right? So if you want to make any changes, if you want to like have certain account get all the airdrop tokens, etc., you need to do that before the 20th. Why? Because the initial token will be transfer locked. So what that means is you will see it in your wallet, but you will not be able to transfer it, right? So why? So there is a flag in the contract that I've asked them to put called the transfer lock, and it'll either be true or false, right? So initially it's going to be true. We want to limit transfers until there is liquidity, until there's a mechanism by which you can sell the token and actually have it, because we don't want to set a false expectation that you can go create sort of a Uniswap pair and things like that. We want to just make sure that there is liquidity. So the way we are going to do it now, see, all of this fits together in a big, neat kind of, it's a puzzle. And in my head, I have the whole puzzle, but this spreadsheet hopefully starts giving you the pieces. We are doing this benefactor drop and we're raising capital, right? Every time we hit $500,000 in benefactor capital raised, we will add liquidity for $100,000 for the tokens. So the moment we hit our first 500,000, we will change that transfer lock and make it unlocked. And then you can sort of move tokens around. But if you got tokens that were airdropped to you, those are locked for a year. So you have them, but you can transfer them, but they are still locked. In other words, I said you can transfer them, and I apologize. You cannot transfer them. They're still locked. But if you earn tokens, So, for example, you're doing some work for the DAO and you get paid, you're going to get some tokens. Those will be unlocked and you can do whatever you want to. And that's what the liquidity is for. So, airdrop tokens are basically tokens that you are going to sit on for 1 year. There's nothing you can do with them except look at them in your wallet, and we will have the staking pool, so you will earn tokens from them. Those tokens are liquid. You can go and sell them, etc. So we are providing liquidity in order to ensure that any tokens that people earn, are paid for, and any tokens that come from the staking pool are also paid for. So there's a lot of complexity into it, and closer to like probably not the week, not the next week, but closer to the 20th, we will issue a very detailed plan that answers almost every question you can possibly have. Right now, I'm giving you a high level thing, so to make sure to prepare you. Essentially, the only time we will be able to have movement of tokens is when there's liquidity. That's it. And that target is $500,000. When we get to $500,000, we will take $100,000 and create a Uniswap pair. And now any tokens that are free and open and not locked, will be liquid. All right. Okay. So 20th November is the first date. The next date, so here's a question from Sharmera. I have 6 on one account and 1 on another. So is it okay? We don't care what you have on what account. All we are doing is taking a snapshot of what the account is. So you can have as many Dreamer passes in any account you want. Doesn't matter. All we are doing is recording which account is eligible for the snapshot. Sorry, for the airdrop. Okay, the next date is November the 25th. This is the date for the final token airdrop list. So a lot of you have purchased sort of Dreamer passes and you're going to get airdrop tokens, but there is a very large number of you who also have been who worked on the Namaste NFT event as volunteers, who have worked in the community as volunteers, etc. And so we are compiling a list of everybody, and certain people are going to be eligible for airdrop tokens. So that is what that list is about. So that list that we will publish, it'll be a spreadsheet much like this one, is going to have an address, and it's going to have how many tokens they are going to be eligible to receive. And so it is your responsibility when that happens to go review and check and make sure that the amount is correct, because it's a one-time thing. So that will happen on the 25th. And then on the 28th of November will be the last opportunity to submit any changes. So there's a question here. You told when Nifty Dreams that we should do something on 1st October to receive the token. All right. So here's the thing, guys. You have to keep abreast of changes here. Like certain dates were changed. So anything that was October was pushed back. So this is the final dates we're talking about now. So 28th of November, that is the last opportunity for you to submit any changes that you think. So for example, if we got your bonus incorrectly calculated or something, it needs to be reported by 28th, because then we will be taking the list and essentially putting it into the contract. And that's it. Forever after that, it is no possibility of anyone getting an airdrop from the inception. So the 28th November is the final date. So key dates: 20th November is when we take the snapshot, 25th is when we publish the airdrop list, and 28th is the final date for edits. So another sip of chai. So there's a question here about what will be the approximate liquidity price for Nifty D token. I will not be able to give you any absolute number until we actually have that, but we are I can tell you a range. We are targeting 20 to 25 cents. So that's kind of the range we are going to have for the initial sort of a liquidity price for the token based on the circulating supply, etc. So we'll need to know, the circulating supply and all of that. And also, like I said, for every $500,000, we will put $100,000 in liquidity. In our business plan, you will see that the DAO intends to put a total of $500,000 of liquidity, and we'll create incentives for other people to provide liquidity also. So we will create an incentive plan for liquidity providers. So hopefully the community steps in then and goes beyond that $500,000. But our plan is to have $500,000 in liquidity over the course of as quickly as possible. Actually, if we raise money quickly, then we'll do that. Now, we all know that we are in a bear market right now, so fundraising will be slow. That's not a secret. That's not news to anybody. But also, my guess is that in the new year we'll start to emerge out of the bear market, and so what we want to do is just be prepared for all of this and make sure that things proceed as smoothly as possible. Okay, and now comes the date. So December 3rd, that is the Nifty token launch and airdrop. December the 3rd, it is a Saturday. Now, guess what? I am going to be in Dubai on that date. So, what we're going to do is try and organize a live Nifty token launch event party. I have done no planning on that yet, but that's what sort of will happen. I know we are going to do an event in December, so I'd like for it to coincide with the Nifty token launch. So December 3rd, guys, is when the tokens actually hit your wallets. That's when our contract will be live, and you'll get your tokens. Okay, so here's a question from Karishma. Will we have to burn the mint pass to get the Dreamer NFT, or any other important action expected from us for apart from what you mentioned for 20, 25th, and 28th November? Very good question. So this is about tokens. People wanted tokens, so this is why we have focused on the tokens. The Dreamer Pass is your current placeholder for the actual DAO Dreamer NFT. That will happen in the month of December. Don't have that plan yet, but I will try and get you that information by next Founders Town Hall. So that's the next thing we have to tackle. But for right now, everything we are doing in Discord, like the token gatekeeping to make sure that you can only get into a certain channel and all that, is done with the Dreamer Pass anyway. So the actual Dreamer NFT is a formality. So that's why we haven't spent too much time on it. We basically allow you to burn that Dreamer Pass and get the NFT. And as I mentioned a few town halls ago, we are essentially going to make the duration calendar based. So it's January 1 to December 31st. It aligns neatly with everybody. So that's how it's going to be. So within the month of December, that opportunity will come up and you'll be able to swap it. But we want to do one thing at a time. So our priority right now is the token launch. So after December 3rd, we'll then work on the Dreamer NFT burn process and get you that information. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll just do it for Christmas or something like that. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But in the month of December, you will have that information. Okay, I see a few questions here in Twitter space. Let's see if thank you, Artsy Bolivian, for sharing that link. I appreciate it. I'm not very good at multitasking when I'm doing these things, so I appreciate all the help I can get. Yeah, so you are good with, if you have a Dreamer Pass right now, you are set. You don't have to do anything with it right now, except maybe use it for access control. So, for example, when comes the time for you to submit your challenge, the wallet you use will check. The page you use will check if you have a Dreamer Pass before it lets you submit, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is the big Dreamer sorry, the token, the Nifty D token thing. I checked with Prabhu earlier today, and he was very confident about making these dates. And if we don't make those dates, then blame Prabhu. But no, we are very confident about making those dates. We are actually have the code all written. So the main code that we needed to make sure was written for this is um, the actual token code and the vesting code. That was kind of important because the vesting and all that starts right away. Uh, the code that they are still working on that is not complete yet is the staking code. And like I said, staking begins only when we have liquidity, because otherwise, like, what are you going to do with the tokens that you earn? They're free, but you can't do anything with them. And we don't want to set false expectations for anybody. So we will commence the staking when we actually have liquidity. So it all comes down to the benefactor plan here. So that is super important, guys. And I'm going to count on each and every one of you to help us get leads for any gallery, any museum, if you actually know firsthand someone there, then you need to introduce them to Addy. That's who you need to do. Like or me, just do an intro and say, hey, I know the director of XYZ gallery, and let me do an intro. So we need that. We need to talk to every gallery out there and rope them in as a potential benefactor, because there's a lot of benefits for them. And actually, you know what? Let me show you. This might be of interest to you. Um, yeah, let me do this. We have put together this grid of benefactor benefits. It's kind of raw right now, but I'm going to show you anyway. So let's see here. I just had this window and it disappeared. Here we go. All right. So I'll zoom in a bit. This is still work in progress, guys, but you can see that we have 4 levels of benefactors. We have a pioneer, patron, nexus, and visionary. The price of each NFT is right here: $250, $2,500, $25,000, and $250,000. And we believe that galleries, etc., will fit in at one of these 2 levels, the D and E. This is more your general crypto art collector or anybody, and really anyone can go and get this. Like honestly, the mint site is already up. I believe it's mint. But we're gonna, yeah. So the mint site is already up. You can go here and you can choose a certain level, and you can mint if you want to. So if you feel like being a benefactor early, go ahead and do it. No one will stop you. But at scale, um, you know, the program we are putting together in place with all the marketing materials, etc., is where uh, you know we will target, and we will have good messaging even at these webinars, etc. So the term of these varies. So there's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years, and there's a renewal price that is like 10% of the original price. So there's also a finite number of airdrop tokens each of them is going to get. So at the highest level, if you pay $250,000, you get 8.6 million tokens, and so on. I put the lower end of the price here, but it could be 25 cents. I put it 20 cents here right now. And they have the same kind of lockup period as you do for your airdrop tokens: 1 year of lockup and 24 months of vesting. And the supply of each one is different. So we have 2,000 of the $25, the $250, 500 of the $2,500, 100 of the 25,000, and 5 at the 250,000. So guess what? This means here we need to find 100 galleries that believe in the DAO and this model. 100 galleries of the thousands that are there in the world, right? So this is an achievable goal. We can find 100 galleries, and that will get us the capital to get going. And then here is a grid of all the benefits that are going to be available to benefactors. So there's significant number of benefits, including participation in some of the guilds, Uh, then for galleries, for example, we'll do workshops for their artists. We will also host exhibits at the gallery or museum, whatever it is. And we will also help them with onboarding their artists who are, offline, right? Like physical artists. We'll help onboard them and teach them about NFTs and get them on board. So that is another benefit. Events and exhibitions. So as benefactors, they'll have private art exhibitions. They'll have access to those where they can come and either buy the art or select the artist for for their exhibitions and things like that. They'll get free entry passes for all our DAO events and any major event we do, like Namaste NFT, for example. They will get discounts on the sponsorship packages. So, for example, at the visionary level, you essentially get free sponsorship package. Um, then we do marketing, so they will have prime placement on our website. They can also participate in Twitter Spaces we do. They'll have early access to all our products and early access to products from retail partners. So, for example, benefactors, we'll make an arrangement with Divert Sneakers to get them early access to products and so on and so forth. So yeah, so a fair bit of work being done on the benefactors because we are very, very serious about raising the capital necessary to get us going. And you can see all that work that's going on. So a lot of work happening behind the scenes, guys. A lot, and it is a lot of fun for me to share this with you. And I really hope that as we are doing the public meetings, you'll step up and you say, hey, look, you at the meeting you said you needed XYZ person. I can do that. So can I volunteer? And usually the answer is going to be, yeah, that's great. And even now I know that, for example, some of the leads, they are looking through the contributor um, forms that people filled out. And as they are needing people in certain roles, they're drawing from that list and getting people on board. So that is pretty cool. So that's happening right now as we speak. Okay, so we've talked about token launch. We've talked. So there's a question here about, will you give us clear instructions on how to burn the pass? I'm not talking about the pass right now, but guys, this is basic stuff here. Like anytime we are going to have you do anything, there is going to be a lot of clear information. So do not worry about it. We will make sure that there is plenty of instructions, etc. And honestly, uh, I feel that from a UX standpoint, instructions is not the solution. Make the UI super simple. So like you purchased Dreamer Pass, etc. What was it? Click a button and go into your wallet, right? Like that's the kind of thing we're talking about in most cases. It's like super simple where you don't have to think a lot. Like if we make the process very complicated, then you know uh, it, it doesn't make sense for us. So like things like you know participating in the airdrop, validating what you have, burning, etc., are all generally going to be click a button. That's what it's going to be. Go to this place and click a button. So it should be pretty straightforward. Okay. Next, we talked about community transition, artist engagement. We talked about token. Oh, yeah. The last one is the Da Vinci Fund. So super excited here. Finally, everyone has signed off their grant agreement. Alex put together a nice grant agreement, and which spells out the responsibilities for the various projects. So I'm going to compose a Twitter thread today. And in each of those, I will put a video and a brief description of each project, and we will have paid them. So I'll put a transaction link there so you know that the DAO has done its job of funding these projects. So congrats to all those projects. And what I'd like to do is I'll talk to Crypto Dragonis, and maybe we can, at the downloads that we have on Wednesday, start bringing up some of those project creators, owners, and talk to them, and have you meet them and see what's going on. So yeah, so that basically happens today, and the funds go out, and we will have our first Da Vinci Fund underway. So that actually brings me to the top of the hour here, and to close things off, I wanted to tell you about my idea. It's a ridiculous idea, and you're probably going to laugh at me. But many times when I talk about, the retail pathway that we are looking at, I talk about the vision of having all these different products around us personalized with one of one art. And I was having a conversation with my daughter. Uh, what was it, Sunday? Yes, Sunday. I was having breakfast with her. I took her out to breakfast to celebrate the fact that she organized an awesome art exhibit for the kids at her school. She felt like the pandemic, no one had any exhibition, and she felt that young artists especially need validation. So she worked with her teacher and with the local museum and arranged an artist 400 artwork exhibition. And anyway, I wanted to congratulate her and thank her, for her um, role in that. And so we got talking, and I had this idea. I talk a lot about having a future where even our cars are personalized with one-of-one art. And I thought, I have a car. It's a cool car. It's a Tesla. What if I run a contest for artists to create the art and I actually wrap my car? I actually make one-of-one art and do that, have that happen. So that's my ridiculous idea. I don't know, is it ridiculous? You have to tell me in the comments, or maybe show hearts or whatever, or whatever, in the Twitter space. What if I had a contest for artists to design the art and then actually put it on my Tesla? And of course you win some prize money also. I'm seeing zero reactions, so it's a terrible idea. So I will stop talking about it. Like literally zero reactions from everybody. Wow, that must be like a really terrible idea. Okay. All right. Wow, I did not think that that was a terrible idea. I thought it was an awesome idea, but clearly everyone disagrees. So okay, so no Tesla art contest then. Uh, so oh, there's some questions now. Someone says it's ridiculously good. How many works can you put? There are not reactions, but there are comments. Yeah. Someone here is asking about how can you buy a Dreamer Pass. So it's niftd.io/mint. So I'll put that up on the banner here. Yeah, anyway. Wow. So some people are saying now it's a great idea. Okay, all right. So I was like, for a moment there, I'm like, damn, zero reactions from everybody. But I thought, so I actually already researched like a Bay Area here outfit that will do the wrapping and all that, and I wanted to do a partnership with them. And honestly, this morning I'm like, why one Tesla? Why don't I rope in 10 friends and get 10 Teslas, and or 5 or something like that, and have people, like, so I can work with the service company that does the wrapping, and get the template from them, and that way we can actually do the same thing like Diverge Sneakers, and kind of go through the consignment process and all of that, and actually have a competition. Now here's the thing, right? I also found out that getting the wrapping done on these cars is not cheap. So it would cost probably $3,000 to $5,000 to get that done. But that's fine. I mean, if I can find 5 or 10 people who are interested in doing that, then why not? And yeah, Tesla NFT Art Club. I love that. Twinkle. That's a great idea. So maybe I should do that. I should rope in a few people and say that, look, we're going to make an investment. We're going to spend the money, but we're going to have kick-ass art and personalize the heck out of our Teslas. Because honestly, I'm really bored with the blue color. So yeah. So anyway, this was the idea that came into my mind. I'll start working on it and figure out how we can execute on it. So that we can start thinking about how that art would work. So Kafil asks, upload a nice photo of your Tesla or tell us the model to get the idea. Kafil, all the Teslas look pretty much the same. It doesn't matter what the model is. They are all mostly the same, and that's the interesting part, right? Like you pay all this money for this car that's supposed to be cool and all that, but they all look the same. Honestly, here in Silicon Valley, every other car is a Tesla. So you go to the parking lot and you park, and you're like, which one is my blue Tesla? I have gone to the wrong car many times. It's quite ridiculous. And wow, I would love to have art on my Tesla and make it sort of unique. And and we can have the Nifty Dreams logo there or something like that, and have more people then, or like have a QR code so on the bumper, so people can scan it and then they can also like get in on the action or whatever. So I mean, I have just so many ideas about this. So yeah, so that was my crazy idea for the day, and I have one more crazy idea. I guess I'll share it with you because I already tweeted about it. So I actually spend more time on the weekend on this idea as a distraction, because there are 30 hours in the day and I have plenty of time. But I have been uh, talking about having an art auction that follows the rules of Texas Hold'em, the game of poker. So that has consumed like that idea is eating away at my brain. I'm like, that is such an awesome thing to be competitively playing, to bid on art. um, so turns out that creating poker on blockchain with a Solidity smart contract or any smart contract is insanely difficult. No one's done it. It's insanely difficult. So I'm like, okay, that sounds like a fun challenge. So I will continue to solicit ideas from people. A bunch of people DM me with ideas on that poker game. But uh, yeah, so that's another idea that I had. So there's the official sort of plan I showed you, etc. But there's also some unofficial ideas, etc. We'll keep brewing and maybe throw at you once in a while, because you know what, life has to be fun. We can't always be all planned. We got to be spontaneous. Spontaneous, yeah. Ooh, I love that. I love this comment. I went from edition cars to one of one cars. Yes, exactly, exactly. I love that. That is the exact analogy. This is great. uh and Luna says Tesla is a great idea. I'm sure other art investors would be taking notes afterwards. Yeah, I just and we can go promote it, and ooh, maybe Elon will tweet it or whatever. But you know what, maybe he'll have destroyed Twitter by then, and then there won't be. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know what'll happen. But that'll be fun. Anyway, so that was the show for today, guys. I hope you got some useful information. That planner sheet, niftyd.io/planner, stay on that. We are going to keep updating that, and there's going to be lots of other resources where we put more details and all that. But from a high level strategic planning perspective, that's your 60-day view into the DAO. We're going to keep updating it. So if you want to think about, hey, what's happening in this area, when is it happening, or whatever, take a look at that. And that in one screen, it gives you everything that you need to know about what's happening in the DAO. And you know I always say this, like, we are all learning as we are doing this. None of us has like created a DAO, let alone create an artist DAO, right? So some things will go right, some decisions will be good, some decisions will be not so good, but we keep on moving forward. And this is happening. We are doing this at scale, and I am very grateful for all your support, because you have stepped up and are supporting this grand vision. And you know uh, it's becoming a reality. And I can see, like, every time we have that meeting with Divert Sneakers, and every time we have an event in real life, I see that this is coming to life, and it makes me so happy. Like at that Dubai last event we did, when we signed up almost 100 people and had them create their wallets on site, that was awesome. That was so cool. And someone here has a suggestion for, let's have a brainstorm session to come up with more great ideas. Yeah, let's do it. See, this is the cool part about the DAO, guys. Like, you don't have to wait for permission for anything. Like, go into Discord and start a thread and start talking about it. Like, the important thing is, like, participate. Don't look for permission. just start doing stuff. This is what DAOs are about. Like, just go. You have an idea, talk about it, get other people excited, and then it happens. Uh, so someone says, I can't afford the pass. Can you please help with that? So someone in the audience, John Paul, is looking for a pass. If you can gift him one, that would be great. I know a bunch of people were looking to gift passes earlier, and now that the price is so low, hopefully people can do it. And by the way, we bumped up the level to 10 passes, so you can buy up to 10 passes if you want to. So if you are feeling like helping out your fellow artists, now's the time to do it. Go get some passes and hand them out if you have the funds to do it. So okay, I have overstayed my welcome here. We are past our 1 hour mark, but it was great to share all this information with you. Thank you so much. I'll catch you on Twitter. I'll catch you at the download. And one thing is, this week I am Mr. Mom. So my wife is traveling, and so I am taking care of the kids and the puppies and all that. So I will probably be a little distracted. So there, they, so you may not see me tweet a lot, but that's not because I'm not well or anything like that. It's just because I got to do pickups and things like that, drop offs, pickups, food, etc., etc. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun week. Thank you all. Have a great day. Dream on, dream big.